Saturday morning, the Experts program kicks off. Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, joining us right now on Power Talk. Good morning, Luis.
Good morning, Mark. How are you on this lovely Saturday?
Doing really well and looking forward to the weekend. And we've got some interesting conversation here that we want to talk about NFTs. And I've never even heard this term, but it has something to do with, fiction and comic books. What exactly are NFTs? And the question being posed is, are they here to stay? I didn't even know they were here to begin with.
Yeah. So if you watched the news a few weeks ago, there was this big story about a digital artist, somebody who basically creates works of art using his computer, selling a digital piece of art for $69 million.
Wow.
And that surprised a lot of people because to me, digital art is something that is available online anywhere you go. And in fact, that particular piece of art that he sold available as a JPEG online. But what made this particular sale interesting was that it was the public's first taste of what's called NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. Essentially, this is the same technology that makes Bitcoin work.
Okay.
It's a blockchain that identifies a piece of art, in this case, this digital artist, and gives it a signature that's kind of embedded and has proof that this is the original work of art, and there's nothing you can do to remove it. So you can't forge this art, you can't do anything with it. So that the NFT part of it, and the reason it's called non-fungible means that it can't be changed, is becoming really popular, not just in the art world, but in the music industry and in other industries where they want to be able to identify a work of some sort as the original work without any sort of reservation, without any sort of concern that this is a forgery or a duplicate or not the original art. So it's becoming a big business. And in fact, Tom Brady, he of the quarterback that I loathe the most in my life because he's a Patriot. I'm a Dolphins fan.
And he's beaten the Dolphins so many times.
Yes, so many times. But Tom Brady is going into business with a partner and started a company called Autograph. And the idea behind it is that they're going to start using NFT, create a platform that will allow artists and entertainers and fashion people and anybody who wants to identify something that they created as the original work and be able to sell it and have that transaction be public. Because that's the one thing about blockchain is that not only is it unchangeable, but it's also part of the public record. I could look up that original digital art piece that was sold for $69 million and see and trace its history from who originated it to who bought it and where it's at right now. So it becomes part of kind of a public record. And it's becoming, like I said, super popular with a lot of folks that are creating original works of some sort and want those works to be worth a lot more money than they would be otherwise because you can prove that they're the original.
Okay, so that's the whole idea behind the NFTs. And that's why Brady is involved in this, because obviously as a professional sports personality, his autograph, his likeness is worth a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And there was another story that I didn't share with you, but it was a photographer who took a picture of LeBron James doing a dunk at a game that was, he was the only one that got that particular shot. And so he used NFT to sell that picture for over $250,000 because he could prove that he was the originator and the owner of that particular picture. And so now when you own something like that, imagine if anybody else publishes it, you can get royalties, you can demand that they take it down because you can prove that you're the original owner. So it's going to be something that I think will over time fundamentally change the way that we produce works of art and then also share those works of art.
Right.
Because people will be able to track how you got it and whether you legitimately should be having it.
So, but this is for art that is created in the digital realm. If we're talking about someone sitting down and doing a watercolor or an oil painting, that still has to be protected the old-fashioned way, and you have to worry about copies, fakes, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And as more and more digital things are being created, music, art, obviously, but, photographs and things like that, you're going to start seeing NFTs get embedded in those because it's relatively inexpensive to do. And you never know when it's going to pay off as something, that somebody else is willing to pay a lot of money for, like that artist who sold his JPEG for $69 million.
Right. Now, that picture was that like a photographic picture of LeBron James dunking the ball, or was it an artist rendering of it? Like he took a picture and then did an artist rendering?
No, the LeBron one was a picture, like a digital picture taken with a digital camera. The piece of work that sold for $69 million was a digital art piece that basically, it's really beautiful. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think the name of the artist is Mike Winkelmann, but he created this work of art that has all of these logos and things embedded in it. It's really fascinating. fascinating. And if you blow it up into zoom in and, for example, and look at it, you'll see a bunch of different things that you wouldn't see otherwise. But just it's normal. The way it looks on a screen is pretty beautiful.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about from the standpoint of this guy takes a digital picture of LeBron James in an NBA arena doing his work, and he sells it for quite a lot of money. And I'm just surprised that the NBA CBA, the collective bargaining agreement between the Players Association and the owners, it must cover stuff like this. And I would imagine that there are fair use exemptions for news organizations, that they're not going to monetize that picture of, say, LeBron James or any basketball player doing anything other than the normal course of using it, say, in their news coverage or using it in a promo for an upcoming game that they're going to broadcast, something like that. But just the standpoint of a guy taking the picture and then taking that picture out and selling it for a couple $100,000 or more, I'm just surprised that he doesn't have to give over a portion of it to the NBA, to the team, to LeBron James as to who owns the image while LeBron is at work.
To your point, I think that this whole explosive growth of NFTs is going to change a lot of that, because now you can track a lot of that stuff that you couldn't track before, and be able to do things like licensing and protecting copyright and those sorts of things. So I think we're going to see a lot more of NFTs in the near future, and it's going to become much more popular than it is today.
Yeah, and I'll bet it'll be in the next CBA for
probably
for the NBA, for Major League Baseball, for all the big sports. It'll be
absolutely
in there. Yep. All right, Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, joining us this morning to talk about technology here on Power Talk Radio, 1460 and 101 FM. Online, it's alvareztg.com, at AlvarezTG. That's the Twitter handle. And Luis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
Give us a call at 866-78-I-Team. That's 866-784-8326.